and this is the Flex. So what's happening in this tank? Well, I'm going to take out the in-tank system at the back. Because I'm using this just as a shrimp tank, I'm going to probably take out the baffle plate, the black baffle plate, and just use it with a sponge filter. These two in here are okay, so I'm going to put them in each corner. You don't really notice that one. I don't know if you can see that one at the back. The shrimp are doing really well. Yesterday I counted 34 babies. Obviously you can sort of halve that by the maturity. Did have quite a different sort of change up, which was quite weird. I'll tell you what happened. Okay, I bought 6 cherry, I think they were called cherries at the beginning. Didn't do really successful, and a friend of mine said, well, I've got some blues. He said they were low quality blues, so he said try these in your tank, because he was culling them. You know, these new terms, quite fearful, aren't they? Culling. I mean, I know what that means in real life. Anyway, so I kind of put them in the same tank, which was a big mistake, because now they all started turning like different colours. I mean, there's one on there, I don't know if you can see it, I think on the little Anubias on there. Brown, clear, brown. There are still red ones in here. And you get, look at that. I really have a good time looking at these guys, but I've still got these damn worms no matter what I try to put in there. So anyone got the heads up on these worms, how to get rid of them safely with your shrimp, please give me the heads up. Really interested in that. I'm going to take some cuttings of this plant here, this red one. I'm going to put that into the new tank, and at the back there I do believe there's a bulb, a tiger lotus bulb, which I'm going to use in the new tank as well. No point having it here. This one seems a bit happy, doesn't he? Always learning, me. Even at my age, I do believe that you can learn on a daily basis. If you can, say it yourself when you get home or go to bed, say, you know what, I learned something today. You know, quid's in, you know, I think you're doing really well. I did say something the other day which I was quite nervous about. When you have shrimp, you've got to be careful how you keep your plants. One of the fertilizers that I used actually had some sort of metals in there that I found out later on isn't good for shrimp, so that's something to take into consideration. Here's one of those little worms. I don't know if you can see that. Very small, but really kind of annoying. I've tried a couple of different things in there, but ever since I've used this other stuff, these things, even, you know, they didn't breed, so I had to do massive water changes, and then I've only just started to get them breeding again. Quite fascinated how they breed, actually. That's quite cool. I have been using back to AE, so one of the comments I got was to use that, so I've been using that. The Flex is doing okay. As I say, the only thing that lets this tank down, in my opinion, is the filtration. You know, all singing, all dancing filtration, it's not. Shrimp safe, it's not. I've made a lot of adjustments, as you know, if you look at my other videos with the in-tank system and my own changes. My own changes, I think, were the best, in my opinion. That sounds a bit big-headed, but I don't mean it that way. You know, it didn't cost me anything. You know, the in-tank system cost £90 sterling. Do I think it's made a big difference? I think the sponge filters, if you look at the debris that's on those sponge filters as we speak, you know, they're sucking up a lot. Now, I've got an Eheim, and I will say this again, Eheim make the best, in my opinion, the best aerators. I've got the 400 running these two sponge filters. The bubbles make more noise than the actual unit. I think a normal size, or one slightly bigger than this sponge filter, you could run with the 100 and not have an issue, and you probably wouldn't hear it at all. I did do a little video on actually putting that into an old ice cream tub with some filter floss around it, made it perfectly silent, drilled a few holes in it, job done. But looking at the tank now, I will be changing this out. This is going to be a shrimp tank only, I think. I'm looking at a hexagon tank, which I think is quite a novelty. That's a 60 litre, which I might do as a beta Siamese fighting fish tank. Want to know people's views, because I have people have said that you can keep them with things. Some people say you can't. My understanding is that it's only of same species, so we'll see how that goes. But it's quite a unique thing to keep shrimp. There's some big shrimp in there that, well, they tend to give you attitude, you know what I mean? There's some assassin snails there. They done really well. I must admit, I had a really bad snail infestation. I don't have it anymore. That simple. Oh, and on top of there, I don't know if you can see that shrimp right at the back on the sponge filter. It's actually green. To get green. Someone convened and said it was green. Alright guys, well that's just an update for the time being. Give us a shout out if you need anything, if you have any issues with that. I mean, I've basically completely redone this. I would say go with a deep bed on this. As you can see, my bed is about, let's see, it's about 3 inches, and I do have gravel on the bottom with Substrat Pro. No, not Substrat Pro, sorry, that's the media I've got in there as well, with the biohome artwork, with the Fluval Stratum. I will put a shout out to Richard, the pond guru, as people know him. The media that he sent me is fabulous. I'm actually using a media brick that he's given me to test, which I will be doing a review on shortly. It is fantastic. It absorbs like a sponge. And I believe that you're going to get the two types of bacteria, aerobic and anaerobic, build up on that. Ideal for sump, quite large, so it's ideal for a sump. But I've got another thing I'm going to try in an easy pod using the same bricks. But we'll have a look at that later, maybe during the summer, because at the moment I'm still testing it, make sure we get the full cycle out of it. Alright guys, you have a good one. You take care now. Cheers. Bye bye.